this the one you want?
That's the one we need now. Thank you. And you started your meeting?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm trying. Hey. Oops. Okay. Hi, can you hear me at all?
Hi. I can hear you.
Hi, I can't hear you. Okay, whatever you did just threw us out of the meeting. Can you hear, Marichelle?
I can
I'll
hear
try to
you.
make you co-host again. Can you write to me? If you can hear me, can you hear me? Nod your head yes.
I can hear you.
How do I make you co-host? View, I'm looking here. Not my computer. Gallery, I'm on gallery. Speaker. Oops. I don't know how to do that. Not sure where it is.
Why is that not showing in the sidebar?
Just a minute. Put you in a minute, Marichelle. She's going to co-host. I can't hear her, but she can hear
Yeah.
me.
We're waiting to be let in. Show chat previews. View the gallery. So there's only. Why isn't that showing?
Let me see.
Participants. All right. Admit. Nope, we're good. Admit. Okay. So when you want to see your participants. There's that. So we don't.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
And the last little step is you would move your mouse. Pick the carrot and make sure it's on echo. Okay. Hello. Can you guys hear us? Yes. Can one of you talk, please?
Hi.
You're welcome. Good meeting.
They just can't. Can you send me the link to get on?
They can see him, they can't see the rest of us.
Eric, can you hear me?
Gina, I just sent it.
Again?
Yes.
I can see Burn, but I can't see anybody else.
Yep, that's because they didn't turn the owl camera on. They thought they were all set. I don't know how to do it. We'll just have to do this. It's fine. We'll do our best. And this doesn't work any closer. We've got, you can hear them, right?
Yeah.
If you say something. Hillary.
Hi.
Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me? Yep, okay, good.
Say yes. Can't
Yes,
hear you. Okay. Let me bring the nail down a little closer to these guys. And then you can hear them better. Try now.
Hi, is there anybody else on this meeting other than you two?
No. So is that better?
I mean, I don't know, I can hear them.
Can you hear Hillary now?
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
can
can-
hear.
I can hear.
Okay. Good. Holy moly. Okay.
Eric, I just sent you an email.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Okay. Let's adjourn this meeting. It's 3:10. Rick Taft is out today. Going back,
Who's out, Rick Taft?
he's out. Jeff is, I have not heard back from Jeff. So I have an agenda here. Sorry, everything has just been kind of insane. Okay. I'd like to welcome Carrie. This is Carrie. Let's just go around and briefly tell Carrie a little bit about ourselves. And then she'll do the same, why you're interested in being on this committee. Marichelle, do you want to start?
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Marichelle Vaught. I I am a resident of Berry City, and I also am an advocate with the Community of Vermont Elders. I have always been interested in equity for residents of Berry, and with my work with Cove. Feel like I'm on the spot. I'm sorry, I had a very interesting day, so I kind of not with it, but I just want to make sure that all residents have a voice in the city. So, and that, yeah.
Marichelle, I didn't need to spot you quite like that. You're right there, first one on the screen that I'm looking at. Erica, do you want to share a little bit? Thank you.
Sure, my name is Erica Rail. My pronouns are she, they. I am a person who was born with a physical disability. I also identify as somebody with a mental health diagnosis. I am a resident of Berry. I'm coming to you via Montpelier. I work at a drop-in center for folks with psychiatric diagnoses. I have spent my career working with people with in cross disability rights. My background is in ADA, 504, Rehab Act, and other civil rights laws. Thanks.
Thank you. Dina, do you want to share? I think Carrie knows you.
Okay,
No, do you guys know each other?
Yes.
Oh,
initially, I don't see her enough.
Oh, right, but yeah, gotcha.
So,
oh,
I'm a resident of Berry. I live in one at North Berry Manor. And since I've been disabled, the ADA stuff and compliance. So,
Thank you. You guys know each other,
Carrie knows me very well.
work together.
and you admit it.
Yes.
Yes. And I know Carrie because she's my SATch person. She knows me. And you guys just have to put up with my face for a second. I have to find that place in our show where I can get you the co-host. What is it under?
I couldn't hear you.
Oh. Computer doesn't pick up my sound. Can you tell me again how to find the place to have you co-host?
Oh, on my, if you look on my screen, on the top right, you should see,
Found it.
okay.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, I love it. There you go. Thank you. That way if we have any interrupters. Thanks so much, Marissa. Okay. It's, we did get a lot of help from, City Hall people that came in. But I didn't know, I guess somebody else has been in using the room. So once again, it wasn't set up, it wasn't ready. Plugs were disconnected. We can't use this system. I'm finding it to be a little overwhelming. I'm gonna find something else for us. And Michelle, maybe it'll be, if you're willing to do your, oh, sorry. I'm trying to talk to you on.
No, that's okay.
That maybe we can use Zoom that you used to set up for us and record it and just find a way to deliver it to the city because this isn't working.
Can't we just go back
Could you
to the
hear
old
me?
way? This is-
Can you hear me when I say that, Michelle?
You're kind of in and out.
I think this is the microphone that's working. It's not looking for us for some reason. It's supposed to. Perhaps next time, we'll look for a way to have you set up the Zoom like we used to do. And then talk about how to make that be public access and where we can record it and just circumvent this whole city thing. And find somebody who can bring a laptop here that we can use to be a part of the meeting. I can Zoom from my iPad and I just use that. Because this has been really hard. I've been here since 2:30 trying to get this going. So I need to ask people to, for a motion to approve our last minutes. In a second,
I
do you move?
So you making the motion?
I motion that we accept the as read.
I'll second it.
Thanks, Hillary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to approval adjustments to the agenda. Does anybody have any adjustments to the agenda? Things that maybe got left out? Okay. Sorry, this is, go to unfinished business then. Jeff isn't here. He has not responded to emails that I've sent him. Why? Erica, maybe you can enlighten us. What are grievances? Why do we have them? And why do we bother to, I mean, what are we doing with them? Jeff used to be the person that would come and say, we'd say, Jeff, do you have any grievances? And then he'd say, no, no grievances for today. And then we start presenting concerns, issues that we had to Jeff as a grievance, and he hasn't come to any of our meetings or responded to my emails since then. So what is a grievance about? Is that a legal thing? Is it just us we're an advisory board to the city council. So why are we taking grievances to Jeff or Jeff giving them to us? It seems to be a dead end. Do you have any thoughts on that?
So, or do you want me to go ahead with that, or?
Yeah, that's a question for you, Erica.
So under the ADA, when it was set up 30 plus years ago, every town had to have an ADA coordinator and had to have a grievance policy. If there is a grievance within the municipality about an ADA a violation of the ADA. Now, in the city of Barry, Jeff is the ADA coordinator. So all of the grievances that there are in the city of Barry go to him. And if Jeff doesn't have a way to resolve the grievance, whether it's an access to, if there's lack of signage somewhere where they're supposed to be, whether there's, a service dog isn't being allowed in where it should, et cetera, then it's brought to us. And then we look it over to see if it's something that fits with us or if it's to go to the Department of Justice, et cetera, and then advise Jeff about how he resolves the issue. Now, it's a hindrance to, I see your hand, Hillary. And I'll be right there.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a hindrance to us if we're not seeing any grievances, then, or Jeff isn't coming and there's a grievance, then we don't know what's going on in our city. So Hillary, what is your question?
So if we have a grievance and it goes to Jeff, a
Mhm.
grievance goes to Jeff, he comes to us, tells us the grievance, and then we think to figure out how we're gonna work on it that way, or does Jeff try to solve it first, and then if he can't solve it, he brings it to us?
It can be either or. It can be that Jeff comes to the meeting and says, here's my grievance, this website isn't compliant, what do we do about it? Or it could be that this is a simple matter of Jeff can go talk to the person or place thing and says this is what needs to be done, but it's a matter of record saying that there was a grievance against this business or place or whatever, and that it's been resolved or that we fixed it, or that it's just a matter of being in compliance with the ADA.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
So would it make sense for me to file a grievance with Jeff and CC the manager about the inaccessibility of trying to use this system, which we are sort of being required to use?
I think it makes sense that we set up a meeting with the in my humble opinion, it makes sense for us to set up a meeting with the manager or the chairs of this committee to set up a meeting with the manager saying that we are not in compliance with the ADA because we do not have our ADA coordinator is not coming to the meetings, or we have this grievance policy and we don't know what's even going on.
Marichelle?
So I was confused because I thought in our last meeting that we did not have an ADA coordinator. My understanding was that Jeff was our liaison to the city staff. And so we have the ADA committee because the city does not have an ADA coordinator. And so that's why we have the ADA committee. That's how that was brought up. And so we were supposed to have an ADA coordinator per the plan. So I'm a little confused about that, about Jeff being an actual ADA coordinator.
So that is, go ahead, Dina. I'm not going to talk over you.
Sorry. coordinator, and Erica is the one with notes and stuff like that. Is that right, Erica?
So I am no longer the chair, Dina. But I am actually looking up, I'm on the city website right now, looking that up about Jeff.
Thanks. It just says he's our city staff person.
Okay, so no, okay, so I'm always thought that because maybe it's my assumption because all the grievances go to Jeff, that he was the ADA coordinator.
I think it's because he's buildings and grounds. And when you did that assessment, I know Dina was part of it, and you were, Erica, and you went around to all the buildings and you did an assessment. And you handed it in, it was, I think, for just the buildings. I don't know if you did playground. The city has that on record of all the things that aren't, it's not compliant. It hasn't done anything about them. Okay, well, this gives us something to talk about.
So for Carrie's knowledge and information, just to let you know, every committee that the city has, a staff member is there's a staff member that is assigned to each committee as kind of a point person. So that, I guess that's where the confusion is there. So is Jeff more than just, the staff person in charge of overseeing, making sure the committee is doing what they're doing, or is he the actual ADA coordinator for the city?
It's hard to find out because he's never here.
Well, he's not the person we'll be finding out from. Just write that down.
But either way, every town is supposed to have an ADA coordinator and a grievance process.
Yeah.
And we're just we're the ADA
There is
committee.
a grievance thing,
So-
but no one.
We're going to be working on this with the city manager. Actually tomorrow night. The city manager has invited the chairs and co-chairs, so Hillary and I are going to be attending a 1 hour meeting that he's having with all the chairs and co-chairs. And I've kind of been waiting to see what he was going to say. They've been talking about it a lot. I think they're going to be looking for some consolidation. So think about if we were to consolidate with another committee, which other committee? Or maybe some of us would go to one committee and some of us would go to another committee, but keep that in the back of your mind. So thank you. I wanted to try to clarify that because it didn't seem clear to me. And I'll work on that with Nicholas. Let's see, we're going to some old business. One of the old business things was, no, I'm sorry. I'm just, I tried printing stuff so I would have it. And here before I go in here. It's on here. Okay, here it is. 5. I was just reporting to you that I had emailed him twice asking for something from him in response, and that he had not responded at all. 5B, Northbury Manor. I want to report about the project at Northbury Manor, the bus stop. Bill wrote back to us that I appreciate the citizen support for good sound traffic management measures. It isn't a hindrance. I asked him some of those questions. It is a help. You don't have to take this.
Okay, good.
I consider this one that needs to be completed. Excuse me, I'll do it right now. And it will be done as soon as practically managed. He listed some of the reasons that it hadn't been done. And he sent us a map. We were engaged in a priority setting exercise with streets and water. He's attached 2 aerial photos. And what we hashed out and looked at someplace else, I can't remember, Bill wasn't there. We were trying to look at the map. And so it looks like what's happening is, the bus stop directly across from North Berry Manor is going to move. And, it looks like the Meridian that's in front of Berlin Street is going to be removed. And they're going to increase the lanes of traffic. And the bus stop is going to be near one of those crosswalks, closer to
Like Arcade Miles.
Allen Lumber, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what you mean.
So to Miles. And there's been an issue because of working with Beckley Street. And so they're not blocking Beckley. So we could not read his aerial maps very well, but they're going to be starting work on it. And the things that are going to happen are address congestion at Berlin and North Main Street. Why are we doing this whole thing, which involves the bus stop? Provide a safer pedestrian crossing and bus stop. Provide a visual reduction in the width on North Main Street for traffic calming. That's sort of like that bump out idea. What's next? Eliminating the island at Berlin and North Main. So emergency vehicles can traverse North Main at Berlin. Once the railroad lights are activated, so apparently the railroad lights are going to be going on again. And the intersection will convert to 3 lanes in each direction on North Main Street. Pedestrian crossing removal at First Street and rapid rectangular flashing beacon is going to be at Third Street crossing. So that whole section, he just finished one section. Part of it was dealing with landowners, and he said he could only deal with one, one landowner that was not cooperative at a time. And so it's a big project, and it will be done by the end of fall.
This fall?
This fall.
Wow, that sounds
I thought
ambitious.
with property
Sounds
owners,
very
the
ambitious,
city
given that it's
is
almost the
allowed
first of
so
October.
many feet onto a property.
Doesn't matter.
I think it's
still
25 feet from the center.
But still, people are gonna raise their,
Yeah.
yeah, they're
So
still
for
gonna try.
a whole host of
Better.
safety reasons. He's changing how some of the intersections are, and his reduction and telling us what it was a little hard to understand. And somebody brought it up and we looked at it on the phone, so it was tough to see the scribble, and I'd have to look at a really big map. But it's happening, things are happening there, and they're going to be happening before the end of fall. Yes, Mary Shaw.
So
Yes. Unmute yourself.
With whatever you read, is there a way that you can send that to me? Because I heard some of it. And I just wanted to include bits of it in the minutes.
I think Hillary's going to take minutes.
I've been taking minutes.
Oh, you have?
Well, if you
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I'm sure yours are better than mine, but.
No, I'm glad that you are. Oh, no, I'm glad that you are then, because I haven't, the sound has been going in and out then.
Okay.
Okay,
got
thank you.
And I knew you might not be here right off, and I was gonna ask you to co-host, so.
Okay, thank you.
So send us a letter, email
Trying to get my hand in front of you.
to the, with, you wanna raise your hand?
Yeah,
Just say so to me.
oh, I want to raise my hand.
Okay, you did.
Erica, when we first started this, what, wasn't the whole thing was is to move the crosswalk closer to the Hill Martin driveway to allow the bus to pull off the road and let them off?
Yes, she
Say
said.
yes.
Yeah,
It's
and-
what-
but this has been in the works for 3 or 4 years, I can't remember. And they're going through, and I'm assuming that Erica has sort of been invited in on this through TAC. And, but have they asked any
It's a done deal.
civilians on how that's gonna work?
It's a done deal.
So they're just changing without asking.
There's been a lot of asking, you know, and he's gone to the TAC meeting, and this was all reported at the TAC meeting. And, that's where some of the information came from, was from the last TAC meeting, or the last couple of them, because you can go and read the minutes on the TAC meetings.
I would bet it's bigger than us.
It's
I
a
would
lot
bet
bigger
that
than
I would
us.
bet that maybe
It's
that
just-
was at
it's a-
one time a
it's-
spot.
It's becoming, in my eyes, a city joke.
But I think it maybe at one time, we could think that space that they were looking at was probably a potential space, but then maybe things came about.
Yeah.
And then having to make sense, the 3-lane thing, getting rid of the median, so if the fire trucks need to get through there, they can get through there. But, oh wait, no, Erica,
Erica,
So being on the TAC, it's been a lot of conversation and it's been a lot of trying to negotiate with landowners and property owners and figuring out what, it's not like what people asked for, but it's looking at what could be negotiated, what GMT could do, where GMT could possibly put a bus shelter later, where things could go. And yes, Dina, it's not what y'all wanted, but we're looking at what's safest, we're looking at what property owners allowed us to do, and where we can negotiate. So there's a lot of other aspects to look at. And so this has been, yes, it's been in the works for a while, but it's also been a lot of negotiations.
I'm just glad you won't be hanging out on the street in the
Yeah.
snowstorm.
that's
I'm
serious.
hoping that, and that will be, that could be
So
maybe not ideal to what we thought, but it would be a lot safer.
it's going to be a lot safer, and it's going to be a big improvement. And I know that we've had, Department of Public Works had an assistant engineer, and we were very excited about that. He's been here for a year. So many of these things got started, and he took a job with a private company, and he's gone. He is now the only person working on all these projects as the engineer. So that's good. I'd like to move on to another old business, and that one is 5C. Okay, we did report. I'm gonna just read it. Over a year ago, maybe 2 now, the ADA committee recommended that we use UserWay as a program that allows folks to make the website more accessible. If you look at the Vermont Elders link where Marichelle works at Cove, you'll see an orange and black circle on the right side of the page, a person using a wheelchair. Click on that and you can see the options the program offers. So I would make a request for accessibility to the city manager, to the mayor, and to the Ward 3 councilors around this issue. And Sam Stockwell wrote back and she said, wow, this should really happen. And I suggest that any of you who live in other wards, contact your counselors and ask them to use this userway. It's called userway.org. And you can look it up. And you can go to Mayor Shell's website, which is Vermont Elders. I had a link to it. But in my notes, I don't have a link.
It's vermontelders.org.
And you know what? I think all of this stuff is in the agenda online.
But you know, I had a meeting with, this was like beginning of this year with the
Yeah.
IT person and Steve. And at the time when we had brought up Userway, because they had looked at integrating it, but then they said that they were going to redo the entire website with the you know, a new IT company. And in doing that, they were gonna, you know, integrate and make it so that it was ADA accessible in its entirety. And so, and I don't know where that went. So,
It hasn't happened.
they were gonna rebuild the entire website was what they were saying. And yeah, it hasn't happened.
So how I addressed that with them was that we did this. You brought it up, we did the research, we made our recommendation, and we were told that we were gonna have an IT person and that it would be taken care of. That's not been taken care of. I also made a point of some of the expenditures that have been going out to the city council and just approved quite quickly for certain types of services. However, paying this annual fee for a year to buy us some time and help make this a more accessible website isn't something that city council has seen fit to do. And so that's why I'm asking my city councilor to bring it to the full city council. And I'm prepared to come and testify and invite you guys to come and testify to get this one thing done. Erica.
Can we make a recommendation as a committee
We have,
to use some of the, because they're looking for suggestions to use some of the ARPA money. Can we make a suggestion to the city council to use some of the ARPA money to make this
Yes, that-
more accessible?
that's next down on the list. ARPA funds.
I mean, it just seems, you know, I don't know if you want to rearrange the list, but it just makes sense. Since we have ARPA money, we can make a suggestion to the city council to use some of it to make this, make the
So
website accessible.
we did do that. And that's actually what they said that they were going to be using the money for when they had talked about rebuilding the website and doing a whole rebuild.
So that can actually go on our app, you know, whatever, the, you know, the form is saying this was promised to us before.
Right. So that's what's a little frustrating, where I had 2 or 3 meetings in between our ADA council meetings. You know, with, I can't even remember their names, the people. the
It sounds
IT
like it'd be Steve, Rick, and I'm not sure who else.
And it was even the folks at the IT, gosh, who was it? Molly's husband,
Factors that they were gonna line up.
the IT
Was our
company they
website.
use. The IT company they use.
What was the-
I
What?
can't remember the name. But anyways,
We suggested
Um,
ARPA funds,
ARPA? Will you tell me that?
the American Rescue Plan funds, that we have $2.2527 million. So, it just came up, and I wanted to revisit and bring that back into their focus, because I think they've been so short-staffed and
yeah,
juggling so many things that they're losing track of stuff. And I think that it's our committee's job to keep bringing that in front of them. And I don't want to say anything disparaging right now, but I think that it's up to us to do it. And some of us going to our own city councilors and shut up from that end a little bit. And also Nicholas paid attention and he said that looked like a good idea. Thanks, Erica.
Well,
Erica?
no, I'm not thinking of going to our own city councilors. I'm thinking of going as a full committee and saying, this is what we, this was, Marshall put in so much time before going, filling out the application saying, this is what we want. I mean, why waste our time, lobbying, our counselors when we could just go to the full committee, full council.
or, I think, talking to the new city manager. This is,
Yes,
I think that's important because I think talking to, a lot was going on with Steve as he was outgoing. And so with speaking with Nicholas is probably the best thing right now because, since he's gonna want to know what's kind of been falling in between the gaps.
and that's what I did. He was the person I sent the email to, and then I CC'd, and I did it as the chair of the ADA committee. And I wrote about our history a little bit, about the work that you've done in the past, working with Rick on getting that ready and upgrading it, and you've done some things. And then being told that we would have an IT person. And so we're still in that place where we don't have an IT person. So we need to get something in there. And it's an easy fix. It's not a mind-boggling amount of money. It was actually pretty reasonable. So we have that support. I think tomorrow night we'll learn more. I just don't know, Hillary, we have to really pay attention to what Nicholas has to say.
Yeah, I think so we could talk about that then.
I don't know, we may not have an opportunity to speak. Maybe it's just be him talking to us.
I thought we were gonna invite the manager and the new people to come to our meetings. Has that not been?
No, we have not done that. They do not have time for that right now. What he did instead is he invited all the chairs and co-chairs to come to a meeting tomorrow and meet with him. So, he did a town hall with, he's been doing town hall meetings with all the different departments in the city. So, that's what he's done over the last 2 weeks on top of other stuff, is he's meeting all the city employees. And tomorrow night is gonna be a little bit of our chance. So to think about, these are all things. And I tried putting everything like that on his radar as the ADA committee.
What time will we meet again?
I talked to you about later.
Okay.
New business. I sent everybody the information in an email with the agenda. Ask you to look at it. And in there were the links to these things and this grant there's a grant that Janet Shatney sent to me and Hillary. It was for improving and welcoming, having an initiative to make your city more improved and welcoming. And it was $4,000. It has a deadline of October 19th. And I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head, and I sent it along. They're only giving 4 or 5 per community. The link that I sent everybody in an email has that information. I don't have my computer, so I'm sorry. I can't. Yeah, it's in the agenda under new business grant opportunity. Yes, there's a link there. What I came up with on my own was last month we talked about this lack of signage for multiple people with different kinds of disabilities and finding their way into City Hall. And I thought, if anybody thought they had time or wanted to take a look at the grant, if we wanted to work on a grant to improve the signage in City Hall and use that $4,000 for that. And it's a competitive grant. I haven't written a grant in like 30 years. What do you think, Erica? What do you think, Mary Shaw? That's why I'm asking them. Have you had a chance to look at it? I know, Mary Shaw,
I applied for
Will you
the,
guys look at it?
no, I know the grant. I applied for the grant last year for something else. It's a pretty easy grant to apply for. The only hard part I would think for the grant would just being getting an estimate for the signage. And also with the grant, you have to figure out how you're going to incorporate some of the logos for the grant opportunity, like how it's a sponsorship, like how you're going to incorporate, this sign is brought to you by blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So sometimes that's a little tricky thinking. With the signage around the building, the only hesitancy I can see is that since they're going to be doing renovations, that might be tricky about sign placement and what kind of signage you buy. That's all I can see really.
Making the gazebo handicap accessible, like just doing something to improve the park, the sidewalks, maybe rehabbing the dilapidated gazebo and making it more handicap accessible is one of the ideas.
You can't go on there. You can't
We
get
had
on
thrown
there.
around.
Now that was we came up with, because it has to be a community space, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's great.
So we thought, look at the gazebo, you can't sit on it.
So are you gonna, something you want to work on?
I'm sorry, I can't hear. Everybody's going in and out.
Me.
I had suggested, well, we had talked about the SASH team about making the gazebo in the center of Berry in the park handicap accessible.
She wants to make the gazebo handicap accessible and improve the park accessibility stuff with that grant money.
I love that.
Yeah, I can see making that accessible.
That's such a brilliant idea.
What do you do with it when it's gonna be more than $4,000?
Find some really good
Maybe
volunteers.
Go after some of that apple.
I don't know. So that's what I was thinking. I don't wanna bite off more than I can chew, but you
Or
know,
can't
we
you
got
ask
the
the city
4,000.
to pitch in half and we do half?
$8,000 with the current cost of construction materials being about triple during COVID. If that would even be enough to improve the dilapidated state of the gazebo and make it wheelchair accessible.
Well, couldn't you ask that like RK Miles for donations and construction people?
I could, but
Could.
I don't have to.
So I think this is a really great idea. I really love the idea. And I hear what you're saying about the expense of like building some kind of a ramp, redesigning the gazebo. That really is a big amount of money. And I think one of the things that the city has been doing with the partnership is having them decorated so you can't use it.
Yeah.
You know, when you have decorations in the middle of it, you can't go, and there are no seating, there's no, but there are a lot of, some of the seating around the park is broken. So maybe we could do an inventory and just, help fix the seating that exists and, make it, because we've seen that people are being restricted about using the park. And there's not been any interest in repairing the seating, because then they think, I heard somebody say, that then maybe people won't go there so much.
No, where the homeless are just gonna be sleeping on the
Yeah,
benches.
those people. So, I really like that. So if you wanna,
These are being used at night and during the day. So there you go.
Hey, if they're not
so
doing any
maybe take a
damage,
look,
Yeah.
take a look at that. I mean, really go and walk over there and take a look at it. And, take a look at the grant. And it's October, and we just got this like last week. I think that's great. I think that's a great idea.
I'm really sorry. I have to get going. I have another phone call. To
Oh,
prepare
thanks,
for. So
Michelle.
I'm really, really sorry. So I will catch up with you, Bern, later. Thank
Thanks
you,
so
everybody. All
much.
right, thank you. Bye.
And I hope everything is good at home.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, next thing. So you guys are gonna work on that together?
Well, I'm gonna look at the park
Okay,
and see what we come up with.
and take a look at that link, so you know what it looks like. We might be able to get the support from the partnership, not financial, but get them to engage. And it would mean that we'd have to put it on, city council to get, approval or something to do that, but I don't think that's a problem. So if you can do that,
Definitely be more than $4,000.
I'm just talking about,
what did it mean taking down the old gazebo?
We're looking at now, I think the seating.
I
around
think
in the
just
park,
the seating
just
went in the park. And I think we can do that,
The seating we could probably do, but it,
right?
I'd like something to be obtainable, so we don't have to get financial support from anybody, because I don't have
Right.
time to run around.
That's right.
You know,
And this is a short time, it's 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Less than 3 weeks.
even if we had those two nice benches like we got at Washington Park. on the
Yes.
front porch.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah,
And I think, and possibly even putting a bench up on the gazebo, so somebody, once they get up there, they can sit down.
Yeah.
So it might be obtaining, purchasing another bench. So, yeah, take a look at,
okay, we'll check it out.
yeah, and if you can drop a little map or take a look at that, and then get back to us. And then we'll, Jeff is in charge of that?
Okay.
Sorry. So, if you get someplace with your ideas and looking at it as a possibility, then let me know and I'll work with you and we'll make an appointment and we'll meet with Jeff.
Okay.
About it as a beginning thing. And if it looks like a possibility, then let's apply for the grant. And I can bring it up at city council and ask for their approval. So that's, I think that's what we
And the
have.
grant is due when?
19.
The 19.
Well, don't blink.
No, yeah. And it came from June. Okay, that looks really, I like that. Okay, so we said that. Okay, in the agenda, I gave everybody, the, under new business, number C. All of this information is in your agenda. Vermont Digger did a report about the change, to Vermont, to V-Trans. No, it's not called V-Trans, it's called, what's our transportation called?
GMTA.
Thank you, GMT. They are, they're initiating a new program similar to the one that they've been running in Montpelier for the past year. So we're gonna have a hybrid. They're looking at a contact GMT for a ride. And there's going to be some kind of regular bus route as well. Erica, you must know about that from TAC.
What, the My Ride?
Did you have that? from-
No, we didn't, we haven't talked about My Ride, but I know My Ride from working in Montpelier. It's a piece of
Yeah,
crap.
My Ride, that's what it's called.
I can't hear you.
Okay,
It sounds very similar.
Yeah.
It
that was
sounds very similar to the old program that was used for more rural area.
So with My Ride,
It's totally My Ride though in Montpelier, right?
with My Ride is totally Montpelier unless you're going to Berlin or Barry. With My Ride, it's, you have an app or you call ahead and you schedule a ride. And then like, it's almost like dial a ride. You pick up, you say you're at such and such location and it's like an Uber or a Lyft type deal. I don't know. I never use it because it's a pain in the butt. And you have to have a phone, you have to have an iPhone or a smartphone to use it. The thing that I'm always arguing about whenever I talk to GMT is because you have to have a phone to use it. Folks without phones can't really use it that well, and they've been promising to put in phones like a public phone for people to be able to use it at like Shaw's or the mall or a place, but people without phones can't really use it that well. And if you're like a one-time bus user, like if you
It would almost need to be at every bus stop.
can't hear you.
Like, I work with so many folks that I schedule rides. I said at that rate, it would almost need to be at every bus stop.
Yes. If you're
I mean, I schedule rides for so many people that are not tech savvy, that don't have a smartphone, that still operate a flip phone. That would not be feasible in the slightest.
no,
It's a horrible idea.
no, I work at a drop-in center and folks don't have phones here. And, and I'm not a person who uses a bus all the time. And so for me, it's a horrible idea. I'm so used to just like, okay, the bus is going to be here at X time and I can get on the bus and go to the mall. But now you have to give the bus all of your information to get in their system. And for a lot of folks, they don't have a permanent address or they don't have a phone, they don't have this, and they can't use it. We also have folks that use the bus for employment, and they have to really work with a set schedule for the bus, and it does not work.
Yep, my son is deaf. And so the bus was his primary means of transportation when he was working at Walmart. So he had to have a set schedule. He couldn't work on Sundays because there was no bus. Like, that was his independence.
Yeah, it's for the folks I work with, you know, a lot of times we'll say, okay, your name is Erica, even though it's a person who presents as male, because they don't want to give their information. You know, they're going to use the bus once. Why do they have to give all of their information?
These are all good questions.
So we're finding it for, you know, for folks that have, you know, income, have, you know, phones, have stable employment, have flexible employment. It works great for other people, does not work at all. And I really wish they'd fix fix all the bugs in the system before they decide to move it.
Thank
I mean,
you.
it's been challenging enough since they've had to change the route for lack of staffing.
Yeah,
So the city route is now every hour instead of every 30 minutes.
yeah, I'm extremely lucky to where I have a car.
It changes mid-morning, mid-afternoon, it changes.
Yeah,
I mean, I
and
don't
it's
use
also,
that very
it's
often.
also challenging now that they just drop off at the transit center in Montpelier instead of designated areas throughout the city. So if somebody, you know, I think they do Shaw's. I don't know if they still do State Street down by the subway or not. Most folks are being told they get off at the transit center in Montpelier. So if you don't have the stamina to walk any great distance, that is like the most horrible idea.
No,
When
what
my son took classes at CCB, it was 2 bus transfers just for him to take one college class. And he had to leave like 2 hours before classes started to get there on time.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was like an 8-hour day to take one college class at CCB.
no, for like some folks, it's like if they want to go if they want to go to Montpelier to the mall, then to Barry, they have to go to Montpelier, the mall, back to Montpelier to the transit station, then they can go to Barry. It makes no sense.
So it sounds like we don't want to be another part of that experiment.
Most definitely not.
And what we would rather see as being a good service would be for them to have a more reliable, regular service coming in and out of Barry and around Barry. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, I even think that honestly, there should be a route that goes from Berlin to the Barry Montpelier Road. Because like she just said, if you need to access something on the Barry Montpelier Road, but you're at Shaw's on the hill, you either have to go to Barry or you have to go to Montpelier and then get on the city commuter to hit the stores on the Barry Montpelier Road.
They need to get more consistent. Right, so you have to be, you
Wow.
know.
This is a TAC thing too, isn't it?
lots of
What?
basic combining.
It's an app. You
It's
can
a
follow it on your phone.
It's a TAC,
Oh, no, is it a TAC issue?
TAC committee.
We haven't talked about it in TAC yet.
Well, I read about it in VT Digger. I read about it in VT Digger. The link is in your agenda, so you can read the article. It
Anyway.
says,
But I also have to go. I have another meeting. I apologize.
well, I think this feels very engaged. And I think when we can get through some of the bugs, that we are onto something here. So,
All right.
our
I'll see you. I'll
next
see
meeting-
Vern. I'll see you tomorrow night.
October 24th, next meeting. Is that good for everybody? And let's call this meeting adjourned.
All right, bye.
Anybody
I gotta go, bye.
going to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second.
The meeting's adjourned at
Eric,
4:08.
motion.
We didn't even get to the whole agenda.
Well, we got pretty far, polling place accessibility, we can get there, okay, and.
So what are we doing with grievances? I haven't figured out that stupid see it, click it, fix it thing.